Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Godzilla Battle Line video, and today we're talking about the brand new water map from Godzilla -1 that is coming to Godzilla Battle Line with the brand new season. I don't know when this video is coming out for you guys. I'm recording this before I go home for the holidays, for Thanksgiving. You might see this on Thanksgiving. You might see this the day after Thanksgiving. I don't know. Happy Thanksgiving. If this comes out the day before the season starts, we haven't played on this map. If this comes out after the season starts, then maybe this map has made it into the game for the new season, and you've already played it, and you already love it. I haven't played it yet when this video is coming out. Crazy. So, we're going to move forward under the assumption that I have not played this, because I have not. But, anyway, I'm going to move on, because I'm going to get comments going, oh, I played this and this and this. Brother, when I record this, I didn't play it. Alright? So, going to get into the video. What we're talking about today is units that I think are personally going to work extremely well on this map. I have listed out just a few. Okay, but we're going to just go through, I'll probably look through the whole roster and check out, some others. So, there are a few characters that benefit from having water on the field. There are some that obviously do not. I've compiled a list of some that do. So, obviously, Biollante is a big factor in it. Not just as a leader, but obviously as a unit. As a leader, for her special move, Acid Sap, energy cost is 1, cooldown 60 seconds, deals whatever damage, mine's at 31, level 31, so it deals 1265 damage in a straight line, and increases the movement speed of allied ground units in the water by 300%, and increases damage dealt to allied units with range of 60 or more by 20% for 30 seconds on the battlefield. This is a phenomenal ability. People use it on London all the time. They use it on Skull Island all the time. They use it on New York all the time. This is going to be used on this water map all the time. This is a very potent ability, and off the top of my head, this is the only leader ability that takes water into account. Only one that takes water into account. As a unit, additionally, Biollante gets an 80% attack boost in water. This is something that has been in the game since the beginning. On deployment, attack power is permanently increased by 80% when deployed in water. Obviously, this can be taken away by things like Megalon or Gyron, I think, can do it too, and GMK, but 80% damage boost off rip in water, phenomenal. Biollante has always been the premier water unit. She's going to be a no-brainer on this map, regardless of where you place her, leader or otherwise. Now, this map was literally was built for -1. Built for him. We all know how he works at this point in the game, right? You place him in the water on any tile, and he explodes. You may notice right above me, I have two different views. I have where you can place units on the beachhead, and I have where you can place a unit in the water. So, if a unit cannot be placed in the water, the beach is where they're going to go. But if they're -1, that whole area is where they can be placed. I think, I'm pretty sure if you destroy the ships that are placed around the map, he can then spawn where they are too. He obviously cannot spawn on the islands. So, this map is built for him. Your enemy has to cross the water. This is going to be a absolute minefield of -1. He is going to be here constantly. If this map is in rotation, just prepare yourself for -1. The inevitability of -1 is there. I promise you, he is a premier water unit. He's even used on Tokyo, because no one expects him to be in this little water portion. But if you have a big push and he gets wiped, they get wiped on Tokyo because this guy is just hanging out in the shallows. I told you so. Speaking of -1s, Ginza. I love Ginza. I've always loved Ginza. Phenomenal unit. Is definitely benefiting from this. Ginza is stationary, he's going to stay still, so he's going to be placed on that beachhead. You could put him in that bottom left corner of the beachhead, and because there's so much water between you and the enemy, if they are not using characters built to traverse the water or over the water, they're going to have a hard time reaching Ginza. The huge barrier of water is going to be an easy way for you to build up speed, or not speed, but build up his charge and attack. If they're using ground units that are not purpose-built to traverse the water, it's going to take them longer to get to -1 Ginza version. You are going to have an easier time charging him up. This map is literally built for the -1s. It's a -1 themed map. I cannot be more clear. Both of the -1 Godzillas are going to benefit greatly from this map. The normal version more so than Ginza, because he can be placed and be utilized at a more frequent rate. But Ginza definitely benefits from this as well. I like Ginza. I wanted to throw him in here. Giant Octopus, my pride and joy. I am a fraud. I don't have him at level 50 yet. My pride and joy, Giant Octopus. 2 costs. When attacking, opponents hit by attacks are inflicted with slow. If Giant Octopus is in the water when attacking, the slow effect is boosted by 60%. When moving, movement speed is boosted by 100% when moving through the water. A support unit that sabotages enemy units with its slow attack, deploying the unit strategically to have it move through the water will greatly enhance the slow effect. Giant Octopus does not put up fight much of a in combat. It is best to ensure it has an allied unit nearby. Yep, absolutely true. Also, one of the only other units that benefits from being in the water. Say what you will about Giant Octopus. This map is entirely water, so he's gonna have the biggest slow in the game. I mean, mine is level 48. And it does 9.7 seconds of slow, and that's before the 60% increase. I'm pretty sure at max level, you can get the slow effect to be like 14 seconds or something like that, and then most characters are just going to be perpetually in a slow lock as long as he's alive, because he's hitting them every 1.8 seconds. Every 1.8 seconds, he's going to throw on that 14% slow or whatever it is. Even the 9.7% slow. So at max level, it's going to get to, at 49, it should be 9.8, and then at 50, it should be 9.9, and then you give that a 60% jump. I think that's like 13 or 14%. So you're literally going to be perpetually slowing units as long as he's on the field, and the movement speed is increased. So it's not kind of as awkward of a play as if you're trying to play him on like New York or Skull Island. He's off to the side, and in London you could play him in the middle. Play Giant Octopus in the middle. He'll be fine. It's a 2-cost unit. If he dies, just put something else out on the field. I'm going to try out Giant Octopus in the water map. He's built to be in the water. Big fan. Other unit that I wanted to highlight that in regards to being in the water, Aqua Mothra. Phenomenal unit. I only have mine level 5, but you best believe every single time an egg mode comes out and Aqua Mothra is pickable, I choose Aqua Mothra 9 times out of 10. Aqua Mothra is so good. Unique behavior expires and generates 2 energy if still in the battlefield 20 seconds after deployment. When moving, movement speed is boosted by 50% when moving through the water. When attacking, deals the equivalent of 200% damage to enemy units when the number of attacks dealt since its deployment is multiple of 4. An offensive unit that excels at taking out pre-evolution units and mid-cost units. It tears through enemy lines at high speeds with an attack power more impressive than its cost suggests, but automatically expires after a period of time on the battlefield. However, generates energy upon automatically expiring, which can be expertly used to turn the battle on its head. Note that, unlike other Mothra units, it flies at a low altitude and is treated as a ground unit. This is a ground unit Mothra that gets a 50% speed boost in water. When it expires by the self-expiration, it will give you back 2 energy, and every 4th hit, it does 200% damage. I love Aqua Mothra. Your opponent may struggle to get their characters across the map in a meaningful way if their characters are walking through the water and they don't have some kind of water walking ability like Kong 2021 does. Okay? Aqua Mothra gets a speed boost in water. So even if you need an additional support to your push, for 4 energy, you throw Aqua Mothra down, boom, shoots right up, just is going to shoot right up to the other side of the map. It's just like putting her in London or putting him in London or Skull Island. It's just like a straight shot up. Same thing, whole middle of the map, built for Aqua Mothra. Phenomenal. Big fan. Next I have Super Mechagodzilla and Gigan Rex and Desghidorah. Super Mechagodzilla is on here because despite him being a ground unit, he hovers, so he does not actually touch the water. He floats just above the surface of the water, but he's not considered a flying unit. He is a ground unit, but since he floats above the water, I included him because he's not affected by the slow the water provides. So he can also traverse this map pretty easily. And then Gigan Rex and Desghidorah are just 2 really good flying units. They're not going to get affected by water, so they're really good additions to any team. Desghidorah obviously is running the show. Shinden is a flying unit. It's going to be at least halfway decent for this map, especially with the retargeting now that the chibis are getting nerfed, and we don't know exactly how the chibis are going to get nerfed, so we don't know if Shinden is kind of come back, but it's only 2 costs. And now you can have 12 characters in your deck, so Shinden stocks are up. I'm going to put Shinden back in my deck. I'm going to say Ultima and most of the evolution units. More importantly, I think the flying evolutions like Mothra Larva and Batra Fire Rodan, or not Fire Rodan, but like Mothra Larva and Batra in particularly, they start as ground units and then they become flyers. So same, I guess, with the Destroyer. They're going to start out in the water. Normally, on like New York or London, you put your evolution units in the water because it makes them slower. It makes them, they'll evolve at the normal rate, but they're going to be not as far up the map. Same thing as this. You're probably going to end up putting them on that far right side on the beachhead, so they instantly make contact with the water and go slow. So they're going to benefit a lot from this as well. Burning Godzilla, his buff this season, which made it so that his energy for his bar recharges faster. He's going to be great. You throw him in the water, it's going to take him longer to traverse it. He's going to build up that meter before he reaches deep into enemy territory. Ideally, if your enemy doesn't reach him first. I'm just going through the list here. Gigan 04, he will go slower in water, but once an enemy comes into range, he'll just grapple to them and pull himself straight to them. So he still is slow in the water, but he, like, cheeses his way up through the enemies. Shin Godzilla, I believe, also has a water effect, but he's not very good. Where is it? Right here. When moving, for second form, Shin Godzilla heals itself by 10% of its maximum HP every 3 seconds when moving through the water. Not, like, super great. I don't know if this one has any water-specific abilities either, and the final form doesn't, I don't believe, either. No. So just the first form of Shin Godzilla, he'll have regen as long as he's in the water. And this isn't regen that goes away ever. The regen just is always happening all the time until he evolves, as long as he's in water. So that's pretty good. He got a buff recently, or every form of his got a buff recently, so you can try taking Shin Godzilla in here. I'm probably not going to, but if you have a powerful enough one, go for it. Both Kongs, honestly, can probably make their way through here pretty well. This Kong, it's not stated on here, but one of his earliest boosts in the game in like 2021, one of the earliest buffs he got, was that he had an increased movement speed in water, so he is affected by water a little bit, but not as much as other units, so that's worth noting. And he's getting a buff next season to get AoE, so we're going to have to see how he shakes up, because he just might be good in general, and with his water walking intrinsically in there, he could be better. And then Kong Beast Glove does that jump, so if he's going to go a lot slower in the water, but if you can lock him onto a target, he'll just jump straight to them, kind of the same way that Gigan cheeses his way through the water. Kong is going to do about the same. Rainbow Mothra is flying, so obviously flying is good to go over the water. It's not why he's going to be super important on this map. It's because of all the -1s. It's because of all the -1s in the water. If you give your units an invincibility with the with this Rainbow Mothra, and this also goes for Gamera 1967, if you give them invincibility, that -1 explosion is not going to matter, because it's going to tank it, okay? So keep that in mind. There's going to be a lot of -1s. You want your guys to be protected. Rainbow Mothra. Rainbow Mothra. Easy protection. Done. Seal it up, package it, send it home. Done. Anyone else? Oh, Zeton, of course. I love Zeton. I might use Zeton. I mean, everyone else is still pretty good. Gotengo flies over the water. Boom. Megalon. 3 cost. Megalon gets affected by the water. However, Megalon can also remove the damage boost from Bylante. That's going to be pretty important moving forwards. This other Bylante, Wakasabe, I don't think Wakasabe gets any water-specific effects. But she's just good to have anyway. I don't think her movement speed is affected by the water either. I think she traverses at a normal speed in the water. Fukuoka Space Godzilla, of course, I was going to say Mechagodzilla, but Fukuoka Space Godzilla, put him in the water. The slower he is, the more of those little crystals he's going to start spamming out, and the longer he's in the back lines, the more he's just going to keep sending those out without being further up the battlefield. So delaying his progression up the field is going to be phenomenal. Use that Space Godzilla for sure. And I'm trying to think of anyone else, but I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head who else would be really good for the water. I had someone in mind, but it is escaping me. So if you guys have any suggestions on who to use in the water map, or who you're excited to try out, let me know in the comment section down below. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was informative. If this came out before the season and before the holidays, then awesome. I hope you learned something if this comes out after, because because I don't know when it's going to get uploaded if this comes out after, and you've already played the water map and you think I'm just a complete idiot, you let me know that too. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.